Inequality. Gender inequality. It's not okay in any way, shape, or form. And I believe it's time our world started to realize this. My name is Aya, and I'm very delighted to speak about this specific topic. And now that I have the opportunity to do it, I really want my voice to be heard. Before starting, I would like to give you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to tackle in this presentation. So here's the plan. An introduction is a must. Then, we are going to move on to some facts and stats that you have probably never heard of. And of course, few examples from our daily life that will awaken you to the real world. And for the most exciting part, I am going to suggest some solutions. And lastly, a brief conclusion. Let's face it, women make the world go around, literally. Yet, despite juggling all of life's crazy demands, giving birth and raising children, providing financial stability, and preparing healthy home-cooked meals, while also trying to find time for exercise, time with friends, and the occasional moments of relaxation, women are still treated as less than in our society. Here are some surprising and insanely outrageous facts related to gender discrimination. Women are 47% more likely to suffer from severe injuries in car crashes because safety features are designed for men. The current wage gap in Morocco is 17%. 78% of girls between the ages 12 to 14 are not in formal schooling in Morocco's rural areas. And according to the IMF, 66% of men are working, but only 25% of women are working in the formal economy. And yes, it will take 108 years to close the gender gap. At the current rate of progress, it will take another 108 years to reach gender parity, according to a study. In the Global Gender Gap Index, Morocco was ranked 143rd out of 153 countries, with 0.605% as a score. And this is how much is scored in these four fields in both 2006 and 2020. Well, we know that women are powerful and strong, but what is it that makes us underestimate them? Before jumping to the solutions, I would like to let you know that it's not something you want to believe. It's way complicated than that. In an enlightening study, researchers placed 11-month-old infants on a platform with sloped ramp, and they watched the babies grow. Male and female babies showed identical levels of motor performance. What differed was their mothers' estimations of their crawling abilities. Mothers of girls underestimated the daughters' performance, while mothers of boys overestimated their sons' performance. It's still not that convincing? True. Well, I bet that the second one will expose the truth. A little while ago, a father and his son were in a car accident. The father walked away, but the son was badly injured. So he called an ambulance, drove the son to the hospital. The son was being wheeled to the surgery when the surgeon came in. He looked at the boy and said, "I can't operate on that boy. He's my son." Well, some of you might be scratching their heads and thinking, how is that even possible? Well, let me tell you this. The surgeon is his mother. But the reason we don't often see a surgeon as a woman, and it kind of messes us up, is because of this thing in our heads called implicit bias. And implicit bias is the main cause of gender gap today. So basically, it's unconscious ideas in your head that are going around and around. Some of them are really good and some of them are not really good. But for women, there are three particular three particular types of implicit bias that are deeply troublesome, and male preference is one of them. If you want more details, you can just Google the Heidi and Howard study to know more about this. And now, we finally made it to the solutions. I truly believe that education and information are the remedy for any type of ignorance. So, gender equality should be something that every school should talk about. Having simple discussions about the sexist society we live in, or even analyzing how women are portrayed in the media, can be very powerful to open the minds of those who didn't realize how bad our current situation is and show them how much we can do about it. I dream about the day we will look back and think, why do we have to teach kids about gender equality in schools? Because everybody will be given the same rights. But for now, this is a step in the right direction. But also, as we know, education does not only come from schools. Open minded families that accept their daughters to choose what they want to play or read are needed. We need parents to educate their children to not assault, to not bully, and be tolerant other people, like other girls. Simple things like this, or even working to stop using sexist expressions like leave that to boys or girls can't play soccer, are a huge step toward a better society. You do realize we can tell kids anything and they are likely to believe us, which means we can get to teach kids about the world we wish for them. Gender inequalities cannot exist if they are not perpetuated. We can create a world where we genuinely value individuality above conformity, and we can create a world where everyone grows up to be equal. To sum up, we have a lot of work to do, but we can get there if we work together. Unless women and men both say this is unacceptable, things will not change. With determination, commitment, and strong belief, we can achieve our goal. And as it is said, culture does not make people, people make culture. If it is really true that the full humanity of women is not our culture, then we can and must make it our culture. Ladies and gents, my presentation has officially come to its end. Thank you for listening.
Okay, Tabarakallah alaikum shabab. I believe it's done. All of you have finished watching the video. So we invite Lala Aya because she is the person who has prepared this presentation. So my dear friends, we have 15 to 20 minutes to discuss with Aya her project. Wisal, the floor is yours.
Firstly, I want to thank you, Aya, for your remarkable efforts. It was a great presentation. So, do you think like the government or the teacher will accept to include it and will accept to discuss these ideas and discuss this subject in the classroom with the students?
I I just suggested the solution. I don't know. It's not something that easy. You can just go to people and tell them this should be included. I mean, how people figure it out that they should include history and geography in our curriculum, I think they should do the same to include to speak. It's not going to be like a subject, but maybe why not just leaving just like groups and clubs of students just discussing how our society underestimates women. I just suggested that, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, Sirayan, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yes, so thank you so much for your amazing presentation. I really liked it. Although there were some things that I did not quite understand, obviously I was talking about it in the chat room. You said that women are 47% more likely to suffer from severe injuries in car crashes because safety features are designed for men. Now I don't quite understand that because I've never really seen it happen. I've never really seen any car safety features that are only designed for men. The only safety features that I know personally are the airbag, and that's something that will work for both women and men. And I don't quite understand. Uh, Another thing
Yes.
about the solutions, I believe that the solution where you should add like gender equality or gender equality as a subject in schools, it kind of seems a little bit, you know, because here in cities, in urban places, I believe, yes, in urban places, I personally, I'm speaking from my own personal experience, there's not much gender inequality. However, if we go to rural areas of Morocco, we can see that there's still a lot of gender inequality. So I believe that maybe they should be taught about this in rural areas, so we can change the Moroccan uh, view and culture and traditions, because this is a way that we grew up. We grew up thinking this way, in a way that, you know, is very discriminative against other genders, female and sometimes men. But yeah, I don't quite see any point in adding gender equality in our curriculum for urban places, of course. And thank you.
Thank you very much,
Um,
Mr. Ryan. Thanks a lot. Yes, Aya?
I just wanted to say that I included that stat of like how women are more likely to suffer from severe injuries in car crashes. It's something like those people who designed those safety features. When we say safety features, seat belts are included. I don't know much about this, but they just said like the way women are like sit while driving, or like their height, the neck posture and stuff.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. So we go to Lalla Shayma Urashin before we move to Rumaisa and then Lina and then Mr. Nizar.
Yes, thank you, sir. I wanted to say to Aya that your presentation is just amazing. And I'm saying this because I felt what you said. I didn't see what you said just as things you found on Google, but I heard in your voice that you want a change badly. And by having people like you on earth, we're going to achieve this change, inshallah. So just keep speaking up and act accordingly.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Binti. So we go to Lina Nos.
Yeah, teacher, can I please add something?
Yeah, sure, of course, Binti. Add whatever.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank you, Aya, for your video. It was amazing, and I really like it. The points you discussed were very well chosen, and everything was perfect. But what I just wished if you discuss more the causes of this issue, because actually we know that there is in Morocco there is a lot of people are this mind. They see that women are inferior than men, but we don't know really the causes. So I wish that if you discuss the causes, and that's why I wanna discuss with you. First of all, our curriculum. So you said we should change, we should include this in our curriculum. So I want to just explain this points more. So if we just see the text and pictures we have in our books. So since our first year in school, I mean primary school, when we start learning how to read and write, we usually find in our books just short sentences with pictures to understand, to make it easily for the student. So I'll tell you the main what we find in those sentences, like. I wake up, my mom prepared the breakfast, my dad goes to work while my mom cleaned the house and prepared the lunch. So here, indirectly, we're teaching those young kids that the women original place is in the kitchen and the man who goes to work, etc. And Also, when we attend the middle and high school, we start studying the true history of our country. Do we ever speak about women? No. Uh, Only men. Even if there are a lot of women who made a change and who participate in the development of our country. I'll give you just an example that I found a few days ago. So we all studied about Yusuf Mutasafin, if you remember. But you know who were really helping and supporting him till he empowered the Almoravid state in Morocco in general. So it was his wife. She's named uh, Zainab Nafzawiya, because whenever he wants to decide something, he asks her and take her opinion and her advices. And thanks to her intelligence, she saved Morocco a lot of times from a lot of wars. But we never spoke about her. We spoke just about Yusuf Shafin. And the second point I want to discuss is publicities. So please, guys, let's be realistic and logical. So in our TV in general, I'm speaking about Morocco. We can see that the vast majority of publicities contains women. So women are considered just as bodies and as materials, not as minds and as ways of thinking. So consequently, all the girls, the young girls, when they watch those publicities, they start thinking and believing that the women beauty is on her face and clothes, style, etc. So their thinking goes just with they focus just on their looking, their way of their clothes style, etc. So they forget about empowering their ideas, their opinions, and their minds. So and finally, the last point I want to discuss is the parent education. As you said, parents should change their way of educating. I just want to say that, like, we cannot deny that a lot of parents are against gender discrimination, and they ask their children to respect girls, etc. But they ignore that they are transferring some indirect lessons to their children when they're doing some specific acts. I'll give you just an example. Like, when the girls are young, the parents buy to them just dolls, toys like kitchens, small homes, etc. So here they are preparing their girls, to become mothers, to stay doing houseworks, not to go out and work as men. So another example, when all the family is staying and getting like lunch, and the father or the son want to drink water. So we usually ask the girl to go and bring a cup of water to her brother or her father. We don't ask the son. So here, after the lunch, it's the girl who will help her mom tidy up the table and wash the dishes, while the father and the son will watch the TV or sleep. So in this way, we're sending an alarming message to that young boy. We're telling him that the women's mission is serving their families, staying at home, doing houseworks, and this idea can develop and can become behavior. So this boy will treat all the women he knows as if they are inferior to men. So that's why I believe women should start fighting for their rights. Whenever they don't like something, they should say they should not be afraid of men or feel inferior to men. Sorry, I spoke a lot, and thank you for listening.
So we go to Roma. Okay, Roma is 70. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Well, thank you for your presentation. And I really like the part when you gave the second example when speaking about the surgeon. Like, we can see that we have, it's the problem of the mentality, because I think most of us thought that the surgeon is a man. And I was like, how is that possible? Like, he was with his son in the accident. So I think it's a very great example. And I will go back to the teacher's question when he said, do the teacher think that girls are weak? And I think they do. And well, I will give an example. Like, when we are young, we see just boys who are in the neighborhoods playing soccer and not girls. And like, why not girls? Like girls, as Lena said, they are just supposed to stay and play with toys that are kitchen and the stuff, and the boys are out playing soccer and stuff. So for the teachers, like when we are in the sport lesson, like what teacher is afraid, like if the girl fall, like if the boy fall, I don't think that their parents are going to come to the school and say why, like you're not responsible and stuff. But if the girl does, I'm sure that her parents are going to come and like blame the teacher because she did fall. So I think they are also afraid of this, because it already happened to one of my friends. And they started blaming the teacher. So the next class, girls weren't supposed to play soccer at all.
I want to go to Mr. Nizar Siddiq, then Bara, then Mr. Ryan, and we go at last to Lina Nos.
So I just want to thank, I want to congratulate Miss Aya for her wonderful project. And so I want to just focus on the third statistic, which is like some girls in the rural areas are not in school. So I think that's like the only like example of discrimination in Morocco.
Thanks a lot. Aya, anything, any comment?
I just wanted to say that I agree. It's a serious situation, like what they're living. But like, we can't deny that our society are discriminating women, like in several phases, if I can call it. So that's it.
Yes, Binti. So we go to Bara before we move to Mr. Ryan.
Yes, teacher. Well, I wanted to say first, thank you, Aya. I really enjoyed listening to you, and your presentation was really powerful. Besides what you said, I just wanted to add a few things. Well, I wanted to say that women can do the same work as men do, and we only need the opportunity. If such opportunities are provided to young women, they all can change not only their own lives, but also help change others too. We dream of worlds where women and girls have the resources and opportunities they need to reach their full potential, live free from violence, and of course, live their dreams. I think that younger women in particular are speaking more openly and proudly about their ambitions than their mothers might have. They are helping each other along too, knowing that success is not a zero-sum game. Your success doesn't mean my failure. Women play a very vital role in human progress and have a significant place in the society. They are not at all inferior to men. They are capable of sharing all the responsibilities of life. Men and women have been rightly compared to the wheels of the same carriage. Islam has accorded an equal position to women in the society. Islam realized the importance of women and granted them a position equal to men. The main responsibility of women is to preserve the human race. As a mother, for example, her position is unique. She brings up the children with extreme care. The first goal of a child is the life of his mother, right? So as Napoleon said, give me good mothers and I will give you a good nation. I think that the progress of a nation depends upon the way the mothers bring up their children. If the mothers are educated, the whole world will progress. Women have always played an important role in the progress of a nation. For example, in the early days of Islam, women worked side by side with men in the battlefield. They nursed the injured, kept up the supplies, and in certain cases even fought bravely. There was the women who led a very successful campaign for the reforms of hospitals and nursing professions. I think that women had been great saints, scholars, poets, writers, reformers, and administrators. Women should be given proper education and training. They should know what life is and know how it should be lived. Educated women can do much to reform the society. Many distributions and in the society is created by those antisocial persons, those who were brought up by wrong hands. In modern age, women are going very well in all fields of progress. They are demonstrating their talents in best. They are serving as teachers, doctors, engineers, administrators, and even heads of the states. I think that the role of women has changed and they have been able to create a very positive impression in the society. From housewives to CEOs, the transition has been seen at an accelerating rate. And all of these technology has widened hope and opportunities for them. They have established themselves socially, politically, and economically in almost every field. So I think that we need to start considering women, and they should no longer be considered this unfit or weak for military or for other defense forces. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So I think you covered a lot of points. Yeah, sure.
Teacher, I believe that while tolerance definitely should be taught to all humans, as they grow up, they should also be taught ignorance, because we cannot fix gender gap and gender inequality no matter what. So whether you're a female or a male that is being discriminated against because of their gender, you should always learn to ignore. It's not really that hard to ignore a hater or a dumb person who is just trying to provoke you. You know, there are people like that in the world. There are people who are just doing it for the fun, you know, especially the internet. Sometimes people just go around in the internet, you know, doing really bad stuff, you know, things that are, you know, racially discriminative. And people who are victims of that just tend to go with that thought that there is gender discrimination in the world, and there are a lot of people who still have this problem. And now you should just ignore, honestly. Obviously we should be taught to be tolerant, but at the same time we should also be taught to be ignorant towards certain people, not everyone. And yes, that's all. Thank you.